Here at Owl's Nest BBQ Supply in Ottawa, we like to keep you informed. We want you to know what's going on. That's why we do the ONB catch-up show Wednesday nights at 6:30 live on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. And if that's not enough, on Saturday mornings, Pete, Michael, and I, we're back at 9 o'clock in the morning for the Owl's Nest BBQ show live, again on Facebook and YouTube. We talk barbecue every Wednesday and Saturday right here on the ONB BBQ Network. Hey, welcome to the catch-up show, everybody. This is Steve Ray. Come to you live from Ottawa, Tennessee, in the studios on White Oak Mountain in beautiful Ottawa. Man, we got a great show lined up for you. We want to tell you that we've got Jason Penley and BBQ Mike's going to be with us. Of course, Pete's on vacation. We're going to be talking a little bit about inspiration tonight. Who inspired you in your barbecue game? Who got you started? Who keeps you going? Where do you turn to for advice? Turn to it for inspiration? And do you have a mentor? Things like that. What I want you to do is, while we're talking about it, I want you to put yours in the chat, in the comments section. And then as you put them in, I'll read them. And I just want to know, what got you started? I'll tell you my story. Jason will tell you his. BBQ Mike will tell you his. And we'll just tell you how we got started. But I want to hear from you too. Just put it in the comment section and we'll read them. It doesn't have to be anything earth-shattering. I mean, it can be something simple. It can be something deep. Just what is it that got you interested in cooking and interested in barbecue, and what keeps you going? We're going to be talking about that later. Also, we're going to be talking about we've got two big announcements to make tonight, and we'll be making those in just a short while. You've seen one. If you follow us on social media, you've seen one. But I've got another one I haven't told anybody about yet. So we're going to start right after this short ad. Nope, that's not not the one. Here it goes. There we are. There's BBQ Jason down below me, and there's BBQ Mike over on the right. And that section right there on the right is BBQ Pete, and he is gone. He is on a little trip this week, so we're going to leave that box up because the microphone doesn't work if that box isn't up. I don't know why that is, but we're just going to leave it like that. So that's just fine and dandy. I think we do that. Yeah, that's okay. Jason, Michael, good to see you.
Yeah, good evening to y'all.
How's everybody?
Great, man.
Doing good.
So what?
I said I'm doing good.
Good. If you follow us on social media, and I hope you do, on Facebook, Instagram, Facebook is Owl's Nest Barbecue. We also have the Owl's Nest Barbecue Nation page where you can go and check out all of Jason's collection of Lodge iron skillets. Jason, that's incredible.
Yeah, I've actually got a few more Dutch ovens that were not photoed. So,
well, that's an incredible picture. I want you to go there and see that. You got to weigh all that stuff. See how much it weighs.
I'll be honest with you. I was a little bit worried when I put it all on our table. I was afraid my wife was going to get home and our table was going to be laying flat in the floor. You know what I mean?
Well, I would believe that. You can follow Jason, of course, Jason Penley. He grilling with Red on Facebook and on YouTube. He puts out some good food stuff and good food pictures. Of course, you can follow Mike right here with us on the Owl's Nest Barbecue page. He's always posting something. The King of Ribs right here in Ottawa, Tennessee. You saw that picture, didn't you? Or that little ad for Terrapin Ridge Farms. That right there, Terrapin Ridge Farms. It won't be long It will not be long until you'll be able to buy the complete line of Terrapin Ridge products at the Owl's Nest Barbecue Supply in Ottawa. How about that?
Sweet.
That looks delicious.
This stuff, I'm telling you, this stuff is fantastic. That jar's empty. That jar's
Well,
already empty.
Didn't take long.
No, it didn't.
Steve, I've got a question for you. Since you're bringing in a new product, what made you bring in that product? What about it told Steve Ray, I want to sell this?
Well, it was my daily, my I should say my daily, semi-daily run to Publix. That's on the way home. And I was in the deli department, and Publix does a good job of having all those weird specialty items.
They do.
And this was sitting on a rack. And I love mustard. I love
Yeah.
it. We've got the complete line of tiger tail mustard. I love mustard.
Fantastic.
And this was pecan honey mustard.
Wow.
And I said, man, that sounds good. Grabbed it off the shelf, took it home, opened it up, took a taste of it, and I was, whoa, I could not believe how good it was. This stuff is so good. It has got sweetness, it's got savoriness, it's got nuttiness, it's got all the taste that you would want in anything in a mustard. So contacted the company they're down in Florida somewhere. And the girl's name was Jennifer. She was super nice. I told her I had an interest, and man, they hooked me up, and it's on the way. It's on the way. We did the final. I ordered it yesterday, and we were doing the final and shipping. They've got to get instructions when they come to a new place. Whether they need a lift gate and that kind of stuff. And we did that, and it's on the way. So today is Wednesday. If it showed up Friday, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if it showed up Friday.
Very nice.
You go online. They've got a website, terrapinridge.com, terrapinridgefarms.com, and you can see all the stuff that they've got. Let me just read you this. This is, this is just, Jason, this is keeping with my goal of 2024 of bringing in items, not just for the barbecue community, but for the cooking community as well.
Absolutely.
This is stuff that Jill would come and buy.
Good deal.
Michael, this is stuff that your wife would come by. This is stuff that people that come in the gas station to buy a set of tires will, they look around and they go, I don't barbecue. I'm not. And look at this, Terrapin Ridge pecan honey mustard, and they'll pick up a bottle and they'll try it. And I guarantee you, once you have it, you'll keep coming back. It's just like the tiger tail mustard. Michael, we've gone through that. Barbecue Steve Davidson, he is a mustard freak now. He loves that horseradish.
Yeah.
If it'll get here by Friday, then that's perfect timing for everybody that's cooking all those appetizers, for the big game.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it shows up, you never know.
I'm sure the Owl's Nest will make a post if it shows up.
You got that right. Mustards: pecan honey mustard, dill pickle mustard, smoky maple bacon mustard, Nashville hot mustard, smoky onion mustard, creamy garlic kraut, pumpkin honey, raspberry wasabi, peach honey mustard. I got that coming. Sweet beef and horseradish mustard. That's coming. The jams, hot pepper bacon jams.
Mm.
I ate that on a hot dog right before I got on the air tonight when I was having dinner. It was fantastic.
I'd have to put that on a hamburger. That sounds amazing.
Yeah. Cheeseburger. He uses a bacon jam is Marcus up at Wine Down on his Wagyu burger, which I think is the best burger in town. We can fight about that later. It's a great burger. He uses that on there. It's what makes it so good.
Well, over in Chickamauga, when we did our competition, the lady that was set up beside us, me and Sean, was Nina Miller. Nina Miller used to have a restaurant in Chickamauga that she had a pimento cheese bacon jam sandwich. She was selling those in Chickamauga.
Did you get one?
I did, and it was amazing.
Good.
So I could just imagine how that would be on a pimento cheese sandwich. It'd be good.
Now, Jason, you're the cook in the crowd. You and Billy Holland. Have you ever made bacon jam?
I have not. I've never really made any jams, to be honest with you.
I tried making it one time as an utter failure. It was just a failure.
Billy's probably made it.
He has. He said he did.
Yeah.
Blueberry, bourbon, pecan jam, strawberry and fig, mango, habanero jams,
Wow.
hot habanero, bacon jam. The list goes on and on and on. We've got the grill and wing squeeze bottles coming, hot pepper bacon, sweet heat, and carnitas squeeze bottles. We're gonna have the best selection of chicken wing sauces in town. We already do.
Yeah.
That's why I want to tell everybody, make sure for your Super Bowl parties this weekend, if you're looking for something different to put on them, we've got a great selection of wing sauces. I've got them all on the shelf and all together, so it makes it real easy to find them.
Steve, are you going to carry all those that you just read off?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Full line.
I got a bunch coming. I was
That's a
so
lot.
excited about it.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's going to be like in the $695 to $750 range. This stuff isn't expensive, and it appeals to everybody. See,
Yeah,
I
my
want
wife would
everybody.
probably definitely be interested in like that. I think you said the garlic kraut.
Mhm. Right.
We're big bratwurst eaters here, so I'm anxious to see how that would taste. Maybe spread on with a bratwurst.
Oh, it would be fantastic. It would be just awesome. So all that's coming. That's coming. That's coming. That's a big deal. So we're going to introduce our next subject, and this one I think, I put on there. We're gonna have a news bulletin that we're gonna have breaking news tonight about the future of Owl's Nest Barbecue Supply in Ottawa. And this next thing I'm about to show you, I think cements our dedication at the store to our customers for offering the most unique barbecue products, not only rubs and sauces, but grills and cooking apparatus that are out there today. We'll talk about that here in just 1 second.
Go back. Here you be looking. Here you be looking for me. All across the Delta. Gonna see what here you be looking. Here you be looking for me. I'm gone across the Delta. Gone stepping.
And if you're wondering why I showed that, you are talking with the newest dealer of Franklin barbecue pits in the United States. Right
Wow.
here.
Steve, that's
Right,
amazing.
right here. That's right. We are excited about that. Franklin Pits. This is the biggest thing. If you're in barbecue, Jason, I'm sure you've heard about it. Mike, I know you have.
Oh yeah.
Franklin, Aaron has been working on these things for years, trying to, find a method and material and workmanship that he could build his pit that he wanted to build and have a price point that's still affordable and that's still something that's going to be so unique that it's going to be something that will last literally forever.
Yeah.
It is a hand-me-down grill from you to your son to your grandson, to your great-grandson, your great-great-grandson, on down the line in your barbecue family, the Franklin Pit, and they're on the way. So how about that?
That's amazing. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
I
Me
can't
too.
either. I can't. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
I've been. I was back and forth yesterday and today with Matt, the guy that reps him for Aaron Franklin, and great people. And they're doing everything they can to get us going. Sending out the forms. When you do stuff, even starting these little in business nowadays, man, you got to fill out forms. You got to furnish them with they all want credit apps. I said, I don't want credit. I'm not going to, I'll pay for them. And they like hearing that. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
And, but you got to, send them resale certificates and stuff like that. And I guess that's okay. And of course, we've got all that stuff. And they'll be here, though. They'll be here soon. The Franklin Pit. Now, Jason.
If anybody knows barbecue, it's Aaron Franklin.
You got that right.
But Jason, do you have an Aaron Franklin pit?
Oh, Steve, where am I going to put it?
I'd put them right between those two primos under that grilling with red sound would look good.
Yeah.
I can just see that big old smokestack right up the right side, the left-hand side.
It would look sweet, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it runs that way, and the stack would go up right there. And man, yeah. So
I may have to put it at your house though after I get kicked out.
Can't stay here, buddy. I got a whole house full of barbecue guys have been kicked out. I'm like we're like the away in the manger barbecue kicked out guys. And it's tough, man. Women just don't understand, do they?
They don't.
The struggle's real.
Yeah. But
shoes. They got shoes, but we can't have pits. Yeah.
When you get something from Aaron Franklin, if you watch his videos on YouTube or know anything about him, he'll put out one rib video, one Boston butt video. He's very matter of fact, straight to the point. Once he gives you that information, he moves on to something else. Yeah. I guarantee you, these are some of the best pits on the market. He did his due diligence, made you the best pit that he could make. This is it. You're not going to get, a big line of grills or smokers with, a bunch of different stuff. He gave you what he wanted you to have, the best right out of the box. And that's what you're going to get for your money.
Yeah.
You're getting quality.
So these things come shipped in crates.
Yeah.
You got to take them apart with a crowbar.
Oh, yeah. They've got to be built like a tank.
Yeah.
700 pounds each shipping.
Yep.
700 pounds.
What dimensions? What size?
I don't know yet. I haven't measured. I haven't seen them. I'm sure you go online somewhere and you could find the dimensions of them somewhere.
Gotcha.
I just I like bringing stuff that are different, like the Pit Barrel Cooker, the Green Mountain Grill. That's still a family-owned business. Right. That aren't beholden to shareholders. They're beholden to customers and their dealers, because that's the only place they sell through, or dealers. In this Aaron Franklin pit, you watch the interviews with him, and one thing that really struck me was how sincere he was, and how he explained the different nuances of it. I mean, right down to every little weld. They're going to be kind of like a Michael, kind of on the same plane as a Jambo. You might get them; they're all the same style, but each weld is different because they're all handmade, and it's a very, every one you get, every one that they put out is a very unique product. And I'm really looking forward to getting those in. And when we get them in, we'll have a party. We'll have a party.
Look forward to it.
We'll have a nighttime party. We'll invite everybody. We'll make barbecue, and we'll have Terrapin Ridge Farms products to sample. And we'll get Jason's wife to make us bread, and we'll just have a big time.
I've got some of the specs here that I had pulled up. I was waiting on that question to be asked so I could answer it. The pits are 81 inches long. They have a 42-inch cooking chamber. They're a 1/4 inch thick rolled American steel. Now, these are American made. There's no Chinese metal in this. They have a semi-insulated, air-gapped, double-walled firebox. Oh, that's unique. I mean, I've never heard of anybody with that type of detail on their fireboxes. That's going to be fantastic. Along with many other things. But you're looking at, it's a heavy pit. It's made well, insulated firebox. You can't get anything any better than that.
No.
Does it say how much it weighs, Michael?
It says 625 pounds is what they say.
625 pounds.
Yeah.
That is well, you saw the wheels on it. The wheel, if you look at a picture, the wheels are those metal wheels like they used to put on luggage carriers back in the 1890s. You know,
Yeah.
when they on the train station, those big old metal wheels that they had. You know, it's got
Yeah.
it's got a little one like that, and that's how heavy this thing is.
There ain't nobody gonna show up and tote it off.
No.
No, it's an heirloom. It's an heirloom. So we're really excited about that and to bring you that. And that's just something that we're trying to do is keep our store exciting, introducing new products and inviting more than just the barbecue people. If you're looking for things like the line of Tiger Tail mustards and sauces, the line of Terrapin Ridge Farms products that are coming, even like Lane's barbecue rubs, the apple pie rub. You know, I don't know how many people will use that for barbecue, guys, but by golly, that's a good tasting rub.
Yes,
And it's
it
gonna be
is.
good. It's gonna be good on something.
Yeah.
And I know a home cook or even a professional cook for that matter would enjoy it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, all right, let's do this. Let's do this before we get to the comment. We got a bunch of people commenting, and that is fantastic. And we're going to get to them here in just a second. Let's see.
You know, Steve, something we forgot to mention Saturday is the sale on the Pit Barrel PBX, $399.
$349, Michael.
$349. Wow. Okay.
$349. That's
All
the
right.
big pit barrel cooker.
Yeah.
It's $349. Just watch right here.
Now at Owl's Nest Barbecue Supply, the pit barrel is back. The original size, the PBX, and the new Badger barrel. The Badger barrel does it all and more with a great price and great quality. Can you do this on your grill? I didn't think so. You can on the Badger. It's hot with an attitude to match. Pit barrels are easy to use. Get your pit barrel at Owl's Nest Barbecue Supply in Ottawa.
Just like that. All right. Let's talk a little bit about inspiration. Okay. Everybody ready?
I'm ready.
Everybody out in the chat. And I want to start this tonight with our friend Barbecue Steve Davidson. Steve wrote me, he read what we were going to talk about tonight, and he wrote me something that I thought was very heartfelt. And it kind of sets the tone or the mood for what kind of where I'm heading with this. I don't want to make it all mushy and you know, whiny and that kind of stuff, but I want it to be, you know, sincere, and I want it to be funny. If it's funny, that's fine. Steve said he'll be at church during the show and won't get to watch it. But here is my barbecue inspiration. He says to start with, after losing his wife, he met BBQ Mike. That's you, Mike. And we started talking barbecue, and the rest is history. SRM Barbecue was born. And you can't forget his son, Clint, for the custom reverse flow smoker that Clint built for his dad. And of course, with no formal training, Owl's Nest Barbecue and Steve have raised his game when it comes to smoking. The fellowship is awesome, and it's a blast being on the pro staff. Maybe BBQ Mike will start sharing his secrets for training in that little black book. And he said you can use this if you want to. And of course I did. That's kind of what we're looking for. Before we go to the comments, let's do this. Jason, you start with your inspiration story.
All right. I guess inspiration. I mean, I come from I've got cooking really on both sides of my family. My grandmother on my dad's side, excellent cook. She did a lot of baking too. She was actually the cake lady for Dairy Queen in Fort Oglethorpe for a lot of years. So she baked cakes.
Wow.
But now my grandmother on my mother's side, I called her my mom. That's probably where I get most of my inspiration from. They had a place in Florida and then a place up here at Chickamauga Lake, and they were big time fishermen. That's after my granddaddy retired. That's really all they done. They stayed where it was warm all the time and fished. They loved to fish. But my grandmother, she got up every morning pretty much and cooked a spread I'm talking about homemade biscuits, homemade gravy. You know, there wasn't none of this. We called them wampums. There wasn't none of this canned biscuits and stuff then. You know, she kept her flour in a bowl, and I'm talking about buttermilk with Crisco biscuits. You know what I mean? And that was breakfast every day. I mean, she cooked for an army, and it was just, you know, just us. But then dinners, she would do the same way. But she was one of the people that you didn't see her measure nothing at all. She had really no recipe book, no, and it was all here. And there wasn't nothing that the lady couldn't cook that was just not fantastic, you know. And from a small child on, I mean, just my mom's cooking, you know. And my mother followed in her footsteps. My mother is an excellent kitchen cook. And both, I probably never seen my grandmother operate a grill or a smoker in my life. Well, and really, my mom was probably watching, but I don't think I've ever seen my mama do much grilling and smoking either. But as far as in the kitchen cooking, I mean, they're just hands down. It don't get any better. It's just that good Southern cooking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
so I grew up around that, and then I kind of ventured out. You know, the tough man thing. I'm gonna go out here and operate my grill. You know, of course, I started out on a gasser, which to be honest with you, most of the time was a disaster. As a young guy running
Yep.
a gas grill, didn't know
Been there.
anything. And then me and my brother-in-law went in, and I guess our first smoker, we there's a barbecue business. This has been years ago now. They were going out of business, but they had a big charcoal cooker. It was pull behind. They would go do events and stuff with it, but it was not a smoker. We modified it, put a firebox and stuff on it, and we had a bunch of guys that worked for us, and we would have get-togethers and cookouts and whatnot. And we did a brisket one time. I guess my first brisket. It was absolutely terrible, terrible. It was like gnawing on the bottom of a boot. Like, man, this can't be that hard, you know. What the heck have I done wrong? It's just meat. Well, I guess that kind of, you know, drove me to just dig deeper. You know, what did I do wrong? We got to cook another one. We got to do this again. You know what I mean? Just keep
Oh yeah.
striving. And I just over the years, you know, kind of as the YouTube cooking guys kind of come on the scene, and just started watching all that, and have get-togethers at the house, and everybody say, "Oh man, that's good stuff." You know what? Just get together after get together, and it just keeps getting better and better and bigger and bigger. So,
And it's almost unstoppable now.
whoo, everybody wants to know when are we eating? What are we eating? What's next?
Mike, we're going to go to you next. Just a second. Perry chimed in. He says, honestly, he says, you got me doing serious barbecue and sold me on the Green Mountain Grill. And he still uses it. Steve, Mike, and Jeff and Pete for it. And he still uses Steve, Mike, Jeff, and Pete for advice. The ONB Nation is so full of great advice and inspiration. I tell you what, Perry, I really appreciate that. I remember when Perry came in and bought that grill. I hadn't been selling them very long, and I was still getting to know him. So he and I kind of started cooking on them about within probably 2 or 3 months of each other. You know, trying just to figure out, how they worked. And I tell you, Perry has made some fantastic food. That chili he made at the chili cook-off was fantastic, and he likes to post those pictures, and we really appreciate that. So,
Well, and I'll give you a little kudos myself, Steve. As far I've kind of kept my Facebook page and social media stuff like that going, but I have not been very, you know, active as far as the YouTube and putting videos out there and getting some content out there. And I found Owl's Nest. I don't know, what's it been, 6 months ago. I haven't been around that long in the Owl's Nest Nation. But I'll give you credit. You have kind of inspired me as far as the production side of it, seeing what y'all do on Saturday morning, seeing what you do on Wednesday nights, as far as the video production of it. You've kind of lit my fire again to get that going and get content out there.
Jason, I appreciate that, because that's why we do it. Obviously, it's for advertising to get people to come to the store, but it also, I like to inspire people to come into the store and ask questions. That's the best. That's the best customer when they come in and they want to buy something, but it's almost they're almost afraid to ask, but then they ask it, and then we start talking. We start talking through it, and by the time they leave there, they've got a new confidence in what they're trying to do, and they know that they can do it, because if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Same
And
here.
I appreciate that. Michael, how did you get inspired in all this? Because you're one of these guys that's really into it.
That's a long answer for this, Steve. I originally started watching barbecue pit masters like a lot of people did. Never missed a show, and I enjoyed all that. Watching David Bosca and Tuffy Stone and Myron Mixon and all the guys on the pit master stuff. Yeah, great content. And I kind of learned a little bit from there. And I fast forwarded to a conversation that me and you had at the Owl's Nest. I've been cooking barbecue for a while. Steve Davidson, of course. I had met Steve along the way. The funny thing is, I knew his wife. I grew up with his wife before he became married to her. I knew Donna, and it's kind of funny. I knew part of that relationship. But anyways, Donna was a great lady, and I'm sorry that Steve lost her. But Steve's been a big inspiration for me. You have as well, Steve Ray. We were talking in your shop one day about competition barbecue, because I'd moved from everyday cooking barbecue, which I still enjoy doing tremendously, to, hey, I might want to do a competition. And we had conversation about it. And then I met Sean Cosby, and from there, meeting Sean, the competition world just exploded for me. I've made so many contacts through his friends, and we've taken a lot of competition classes together. And we traveled around. Last year, we went to World Foods in Texas. We've been to Kansas City taking classes. We've been to Mississippi taking classes, Atlanta, and all the things I've helped him with. And it's just, the whole environment is just huge. And, it's everybody you meet along the way that kind of keeps me going, that makes me want to be a better version of me. I'm nowhere near as good as what I want to be. I'm decent, but I aspire to be better than I am now. Maybe one day, but I just enjoy cooking food.
Well, that's a good way to be. Never stop learning. Some chick named Donna K. Cook Penley just said she's never had you have never had good ribs until you have had Jason's. Oh my God, I don't know what that means. They are slap your mama good. Is that your mother?
That is my mama.
Is your mama talks like that?
She's my biggest fan.
That's funny. Billy said that he got his inspiration from lots of camping and outdoor cooking as long as I can remember. And Billy is such a his imagination is just unbelievable in his cooking. He's probably, of all the guys that hang out at the store, Billy probably has cooked more. I bet Billy's cooked more than anybody, and because I think Billy's been cooking for a long time. Jeff chimed in. He says, I remember how nervous Perry was in the beginning. He was, Jeff. He sure was. And he's a champ now. He is really good at it. Billy also said he's made a lot of good friends at the Owl's Nest, and thanks for all you do. Well, my goodness, that's my pleasure. And all the way from Ned, all the way from Oklahoma, Dirk Mullins. The other there's a half of the Mike. There's your half the Rib Cook-Off Association owner right there, Dirk. We talk about you every Saturday when Mike and I get together. How we're going to have a rib cook-off here before too long, and we're really looking forward to that. We'll be bending your ear very, very, very soon on that. We appreciate everybody commenting, and what we're doing is, if we're just asking for your story on how you got inspired to cook, what keeps you going, if you had a mentor, who was your mentor, and what makes you a better barbecue person, and what got you started in a barbecue. I'll tell you how I got started. I was on I was one of those guys. I wasn't even king of the grill. I had no interest in cooking. If Barbara, if we were going to do steaks, we had a gas grill. But if Barbara said we're going to do steaks, she'd say, "Do you want to grill them?" I go, "Nah, you go ahead." I mean, I didn't even grill the steaks. A lot of guys are, they jump up, beat the chest. Yeah, let me do it. I care less. I just sat there on the couch with a bourbon and Coke watching the Braves. So one Sunday afternoon, and I think it was in May, April, somewhere around there. It was raining, nothing going on, and it was about 20. I guess it was 2013, 2014. I was sitting in the house watching TV, and I was flipping channels and came across the Barbecue Pitmasters show. I watched a few minutes. I went, how about that? Scrolled up. I got to thinking about it and scrolled back, and I started watching it. And I watched that. It was one of those marathons. And I watched that show for 3 hours. It was season 1 marathon. I watched 3 shows right in a row of that. And I called over to my wife. I said, "Come here, look at this." And she knew about barbecue contests. I didn't even know there was such a thing as a barbecue contest. I had no idea. It wasn't even on my radar. I said, these guys and girls are having a great time. They're smack talking. They're cooking food for money. I said, I think I could do that. She just laughed. She goes, "You can't do that." So Monday came in. One of my buddies, Dan Greason, hung out at the gas station at the time, came in. He knew a little bit about barbecue. I asked him if he'd seen that show. He goes, "Yeah." And I said, "We ought to do that, Dan." I said, "We ought to do that." And he says, "All right, let's do it." So we went over to that trailer place over in Red Bank by the sheriff's annex. And we bought a smoker, an old junky smoker that guy had for sale. That thing leaked like the Exxon Valdez. You couldn't get it up. You couldn't get it up to 250 degrees. You had to build a fire that would melt the thing down before you could get it up to 250 degrees. It leaked so bad. And we started using that, and we started cooking, and Dan knew how to cook. And we started entering contests. That's how I got my start, was contest cooking. And then but that was what inspired me to start being interested in barbecue from a technical aspect. Then I went to some schools, and I guess if I had to say I had a mentor, it'd be Donnie Bray from Warren County Pork Choppers. I went to his school in 2014 up in Bowling Green, Kentucky. And in 2014, Donnie Bray was the KCBS Team of the Year. And at one point, he had won 7 straight contests, Mike. 7 straight. Not in a year, 7 straight. And I think that's still a record. That is incredible.
I was in Cleveland, Tennessee when he won that one up there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what year it was, but I went up. That was the first barbecue competition I had seen in person. And I walked around, and Johnny Triggs was there. Myron Mixon was there. And I'd never heard of the Warren County Pork Choppers or Pork Chop Boys, whatever their names are. And I was like, well, they won it. And I was like, well, who in the world is that? But
yeah, well, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. That's who in the world that is.
Yeah.
And Donnie was a big help during the school. And of course, after you take the school, they give you their cell phone numbers, and I wore them out. Buddy, I just wore them out. And then, but we cooked a lot of contests, and as life goes on, it changes. There's certain circumstances that you have to adapt to and overcome. And I had that in my life going on, and I began to really appreciate backyard cooking. And when I opened up the store, I was still into contest cooking, but I was really getting interested in backyard cooking. And if you're wondering what's the difference, and when you're cooking in a contest, you're just cooking one bite food. It's real weird. You don't cook the meat all the way. You turn in pieces that taste good, that the judges are going to take one bite of it and it's going to be good. And that's how you're judged. It's a quick quality, not a deep quality, if you understand. But in backyard cooking, it's a whole different thing. Is you're wanting to cook that entire pork butt. And that's when I really got into cooking briskets. And that's what I really like to cook. And David Boskin inspired me. I went to his school, and he does David does everything when in school. He does a backyard, and he does a contest, method on each meat. And that really helped. And so David has been a wealth of information to me. He's another guy Michael and Jason, that when you can pick up the phone and call him, and he'll answer that telephone, and he'll answer just about any question you've got.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that really did. David really inspired me. And I guess if I had a mentor now, it would be David. When I get stuck on something, if I want to improve flavor, if I want to know what phosphates versus phosphates TR, what's the difference?
Yeah.
That's who I turn to, is David. And so that's kind of my inspiration was like a lot of people, Michael, barbecue pit masters.
Yeah.
And I mean, how many times has that story been told?
I know, it's amazing. And I've even called David on multiple times and messaged him on Facebook, asking him questions. Hey, what would taste better on this? Because I like to use his rubs. He's got a great line of stuff. And of course, they're available at the Owl's Nest. But yeah, I mean, David's, he's an open book. Anybody could call him and ask him.
When I started that store was, it was hatched just as a whim. At the Owl's Nest Barbecue Supply Store was just a whim. We used to sell golf carts, and the recession killed the golf cart business. And so I went out of the golf cart business, and we used that room. It was just we used it as an office, a waiting room. It wasn't making any money. And it was an expensive room to build, and I hated it. But that's all we had at the time. And when I got into barbecue, I've set up I had one shelf section in there. And I had met David in a chat room on the Barbecue Central show with Greg Rempe. David, he used to do a show over on the Cooking Channel, and you can hear him every night here on Facebook on Tuesday nights at 9:00 and on YouTube. The Barbecue Central show. If you want to hear a good show, that's kind of the signature barbecue show in the nation. Greg does a great job and has a great guest on, and I met David in one of the chat rooms, and I called David and I said, "Hey, David, could I buy your rubs? And I want to try to sell them." He said, "Absolutely." And he kind of set me up in the rub business, and I couldn't believe how well they sold. And in 2017, we had a big fire back there, destroyed that back room, and then destroyed the sales room. And when we built it back, I said, "I'm going to turn this into a barbecue store," and that's how the Owl's Nest Barbecue Supply Store was born. Just out of an accident and a big fire. So isn't that apropos? The barbecue store happened because of a big fire. There's George Gibson saying, "Good evening, guys." George, why don't you type in there? I'd like to see what inspired you to get going, because you have really come on the barbecue scene. You've been cooking like crazy. You know what I like to see too? I like to see things that like George posted the other day. It wasn't a barbecue food, but he'd made breakfast. Did you see that on the Nation page?
Yeah.
And it was
awesome.
very unique looking, wasn't it?
Yep.
And I love seeing the things that we don't ordinarily see. Because seeing the pork butts and the I was seeing brisket. It's always my favorite, because that's my barbecue zen. If I could only cook one meat, it would be brisket. I wouldn't cook anything else. And but people put on there. Jonathan Edwards posted those Wagyu ribeyes the other day.
They looked fantastic.
Oh wow, how good do they look?
Yeah.
And Jonathan he's a great cook. He's a great food photographer too. And those looked really, really good. And I don't know about you, Michael, but since you started doing barbecue, I don't know how many years you've been doing it. Has your steak game gotten better?
It has got better. I've been cooking for probably 15 years, I guess. When I first started, I started dabbling in it longer than that, to be honest with you. I was thinking, when you were telling your story, the first rack of ribs that I cooked was probably 25 years ago. Wow. And I had a gas grill, and I went over to the Bilo. And I bought this rack of ribs, and I thought, man, that's a good looking rack of ribs. I'm going to go home and cook it. I put it on the gas grill. I don't even know what I seasoned it with, probably salt and pepper. Flipped it over 4 or 5 times. I mean, it looked good. The color was nice. It was tougher than shoe leather. I couldn't eat it. It was $25, $30 rack of ribs. I picked it up. I was so disappointed. I threw it in the garbage, and it was another probably 10 years before I even tried it again. I was so disappointed.
Oh,
No,
wow.
I know what you mean, Michael. The first thing I tried to cook, I went down to Lowe's. I mean, I was so typical when I was trying to learn. I went down to Lowe's, bought one of those $99 offset char grill cookers. You know, the worst thing you can buy. And I bought some charcoal and some wood chunks and started that thing up. Didn't know what I was doing. And I bought a big old brisket. I went to Sam's, bought a big old 19 pound brisket. And, you know, first thing I do, I brought it home. And what do? You know, I slather it with mustard, you know, just like they do on the shows. And I put that on there. I cooked on that thing for 14 hours. And the only thing I got was a cold from going outside trying to stoke that, brisket in the rain. And the rain was raining on that smoker, and, you know, is running at 180 degrees, you know. And I'm like you, Jason, I pulled that thing out of there, and it was the worst thing. You know, it was the worst thing I ever tasted. And because it was, I thought I was going to have to, I thought I could, like, you know, finish it off on the grill. That's what I did. I threw it on the gas grill. I said, well, hell, it's just a big steak. You know, who can't do this?
Yeah.
And so I cooked three briskets before I got one that was edible.
Wow.
And finally I made that charbroiler into a bunch of toothpick or a bunch of paper clips. And those things should be outlawed. They ought to be outlawed.
Yeah.
You know, there ought to be somebody that ought to be some sort of a heavenly person that if you wake up one morning and say, I think I'll learn to barbecue, they say Weber Smoky Mountain, go buy one. Because that's the perfect thing to learn on.
That's right.
Everybody wants to run out there and buy that stupid charbroil offset, and that thing you'll just fail every time.
It's amazing looking back, you know, over the years, different cooks and whatnot, just the crap, you know, that I've cooked just from lack of knowledge. It's just, it's amazing, but it's a continual learning process.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like education. It should remain unfinished.
Yep. Another thing that amazes me too, though, is like just the friendships and the camaraderie that goes on, you know, around a pit, you know, and around your store. It's just the friendships that you make, the bonds that you make, you know, the stories that you share. It's great.
Well, Jason, I appreciate that. And that's exactly the way I wanted it to be. John LaBelle from Brentwood, he writes in, we sure learned a lot with our visit to Owl's Nest. The rib guy at your store changed exactly how I cook ribs. Michael, he must have talked to you.
Maybe, I'm not sure, but.
And Charles Pettit goes, that's a fact.
Charles, you know, I love the Owl's Nest.
You know, I love Charles. He came in, bought a grill, and he's been part of our barbecue lives ever since he bought one. And that's the wonderful thing about what we do. Is we meet people and we embrace them, and we really appreciate everybody that comes in, and I think it shows, especially on Saturday mornings when we do our show afterwards. The post show party is always good. I don't have to work, but and you know, I wish everybody would come, would come down and visit. Charles also said, I learned from Steve and still have a lot to learn. Well, Charles he was a pretty good cook before he met me. So that's not actually all true, Charles, but we appreciate you very much. Let's see. That's all I've got. Coming up, don't forget at 7:30 is David Bosco over on the Butcher Barbecue Facebook page live. David will be doing one of his product reviews. Michael, did you see what David will be reviewing tonight? I didn't see.
I haven't checked, Steve, to be honest with you. I know that he was going to do the phosphates and TR at some point. I don't know if that's tonight or not.
I hope it is. I suggested that to him last week, and maybe he will. If he is, that's going to be a good one to watch, and we'll be down there watching it. And I wanted to shout out to Pete. I know Pete's probably watching. We miss you, Pete. Can't wait till you get back. And that little chair, I keep looking over there for Pete, and he's gone. I see a picture of that pig. And that makes me feel good. But look forward to Pete coming back. Now you'll be gone Saturday, right, Michael?
That is correct. I'll be busy
Okay.
Saturday, and then the next weekend I'm going out of town.
I think Billy Holland's going to come in, and I think let's see. I can't remember what Billy was going to cook. Oh, he did a Billy did that video on
the chicken cordon bleu.
yeah, the chicken cordon bleu,
the wrap. Yep.
Cuban cigars.
Yep.
And that looks really good. I'm trying to get him to come in to do that. All right, man. Sounds good. Everybody, Jason, thanks for helping us tonight. Michael, as always, thanks for hanging with us. And everybody that commented, we appreciate that very much. We'll be back Saturday morning for the Owl's Nest Barbecue Show. And until then, signing off for the Owl's Nest Barbecue Show. This is Steve Ray. We'll see you Saturday morning. Thanks for watching. David Bosca's next on the Butcher Barbecue Facebook page.
Hey, we're in touch, so you be in touch. Follow us and watch us on Facebook, and also watch the Owl's Nest Barbecue Show on YouTube. And please follow us on Instagram for some great ideas, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more and more videos.